today we're going to be reading Little Princess Treasury book. Yay!
So today we're going to be reading this section out of the Little Princess Treasury, and it is called The 12 Dancing Princesses.
Yeah.
Are you going to show everyone your unicorn that you bought today?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went with Daddy out today. There was a shop called Nissa, and I went in there and I was begging Daddy to get the unicorn, but he was so nice and got me the unicorn, which I'm very happy with.
You are very happy, of course, because you like getting what you want.
I like unicorns.
I know.
Everything.
You like everything unicorn based.
I just started having on it, and I
That's got nothing to do with it, but okay. So, I think Daddy's going to start off with the first paragraph.
Yeah.
In this section here. Let's have a look then. Let's start.
I'll do that one.
Yeah? In a grand old castle, surrounded by royal forests, lived an old king and his many daughters. There were 12 princesses in all, each as beautiful as the next. They spent their days reading and playing music. What they wanted more than anything was to dance, but dancing was forbidden by their father. There you go. So from there.
Their mother, the queen, had been the most
Elegant
dancer in the kingdom. When she died, the king is in custody.
Let's have a look. Is this stuff? There's going to be some hard words in this. Let's have a look. Where was you? Inconsolable. I wouldn't expect you to say that, Brooke. There you go. Start from there.
He locked up the royal ballroom, threw away the key, and no one had seen him smile since. For years, the princesses begged their father to let them dance, but he always refused.
That's right.
Finally, they gave up all. So he thought one morning the king not noticed his castle was quieter than usual. It was almost noon. He hadn't seen even one of his daughters. He sent the maid to find out where they were. Please, Your Highness, said the maid,
Scampering. Scampering back to the king's throne.
They still fast asleep in their beds, and I found by their bedroom door She hadn't a dainty dance shoe. She handed a dainty dance shoe to the king. That's quite hard to say, actually. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Cried the king almost. What? The writing's quite small. I don't know if you can see. Cried the king almost, applauding with daughter. They'd go dancing. Right. This one's quite a hard one, Brooke. I might have to read some of this for you. So, if you please, Your Highness, the maid went on, I counted 23 more shoes in the pile. No one dances in my kingdom, boomed the angry king, especially not my daughters. Tonight I shall lock their room. True to his word, the king waited until the princesses had gone to bed and locked their heavy oak door. The following morning he was pleased to see his daughters sleeping peacefully. Well, that's mean. It is very mean.
That is so mean. If I wouldn't do that.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Daddy
But
would.
then he spied a pile of shoes in the corner, their soles worn thin with dancing. "Burn those shoes," the king ordered a servant, "and get the locksmith to add 2 more locks." All day the king was in a terrible temper. As for the princesses, they sat yawning and giggling behind their books. The next morning, and every morning for a week, the king found yet more worn-out dance shoes. Even with 10 locks on the door, 2 guards outside, and extra bolts on the window, his daughters still managed to sneak away and go dancing. I think me and Brooke have decided that this book might be a tad too hard for her to read all at once. So she's going to read...
I see one of the princesses.
Oh yeah. So she's going to read one of the paragraphs, and I will read most of the others. I think that'll be fair, won't it?
Yeah, I'll do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah then. So you can see.
Unicorn. I love you.
Unicorn.
I've got a brush with it too.
You have got a brush. There you go. So this one here.
The king was slowly going crazy with frustration.
Frustration, but that was close.
His dreams became haunted with dancing and
Laughter.
laughter. "Tell me where you dance," he
Pleaded. Yeah.
with his daughters. "We don't know what you mean," was their reply. You read the second.
Well, eventually, he made an announcement to his kingdom. "Discover where my daughters dance at night, and you may marry whichever one you choose," he proclaimed. "But waste my royal time, and I'll imprison you in my dungeon." Before long, an arrogant prince arrived at the castle. "I'll solve the mystery, your highness," he said. Confidently. "I hope you can," sighed the king. The prince was shown to a room next to the princess's bedroom. A bed was prepared for him, but he knew better. Don't distract me. Then to sleep. But he knew better than to sleep. You're distracting me, silly. And now I've lost where I am. Okay, then. That night, the princesses walked past his room. They curtsied, blew a kiss, and whispered good night. Curtsied, that's it. Very good. I've lost where I am again now.
Everyone that covers.
The youngest even gave the prince a cup of hot chocolate. "Soon, one of those princesses will be my wife," thought the prince, as he waited for the sisters to creep off to dance. He took a long sip of chocolate. He murmured, resting his head on the pillow for just a moment before falling asleep. That's falling fast asleep.
Hey, there's one of the princesses that is going to get married to a prince.
Are they? Well, we'll soon find out.
What about the other sisters?
Well, we'll soon find out, won't we?
Okay.
When the prince awoke, sun was already streaming through the window. He jumped up in a panic, raced into the princess's room and tripped over a heap of dance shoes. The princesses giggled to see the prince half buried in their shoes. The king, however, was far from amused. He sent the prince straight to the dungeon and became increasingly grumpy. In the weeks that followed, 10 more hopeful princes, my reading is terrible, but my apologies, came to the castle. One by one, they sat in the little bedroom, determined to follow the sisters, but none of them managed to stay awake. By the end of the month, they were all in the dungeon, and the princesses were dancing more than ever.
All the princes were in the dungeon.
Yeah.
All of
Oh
them.
dear. Meanwhile, a handsome soldier was riding home when he heard the story of the 12 dancing princesses. He decided to try his own luck and headed for the royal castle. "Where are you going?" asked a wizened old... I can't say. I'm going to have to try and... I'm actually trying to read the book through the phone, but the light is so bright. I'm going to have to try and read under it. Where was I? He decided to try his own luck and headed for the royal castle. "Where are you going?" asked a wizened old woman, as he rode by. To discover how the princesses danced their shoes to pieces, he replied. The woman thought the soldier looked honest and wise. You'll need this, she said, handing him a cloak. Wear it and you'll become invisible. Just be careful not to drink anything the princesses offer you. The soldier thanked the woman and rode on to the castle.
Look, watch my dance. Look, watch on my dance.
That's you dancing.